Today, we have selected a very important column for you. Trump Gets a Reality Check in Beijing by famous writer and defense analyst Imtiaz Gul. Amid diplomatic niceties and unmistakable Chinese cultural symbolism, President Xi Jinping gave his usually freewheeling guest, President Donald Trump, sobering lessons in diplomacy, national resolve, and, above all, good manners. Once in Beijing, Trump confronted two stark realities. Xi not only issued a blunt warning on Taiwan, describing the issue as irreconcilable like water and fire, but also invoked the unsettling theory of the Thucydides trap to drive home a broader strategic point. Taiwan, Xi warned in his welcome speech, remains the most important issue in U.S.-China relations. Mishandling it, he cautioned, could lead to clashes and even conflicts, placing bilateral ties in great jeopardy and an extremely dangerous place. The situation, he stressed, required utmost prudence and careful management to preserve stability. Xi's reference to the Thucydides trap came against the backdrop of mounting American setbacks following the illegal invasion of Iran and the collapse of subsequent negotiations. The context was impossible to ignore. Can China and the United States overcome the Thucydides trap and create a new paradigm of major country relations? Can we meet global challenges together and provide greater stability for the world? Can we build a bright future together for our bilateral relations and for the future of humanity? Xi asked, in what appeared to be an indirect challenge to Trump's self-serving justifications for war. Later that evening, Trump nevertheless offered his own interpretation of Xi's remarks. When President Xi very elegantly referred to the United States as perhaps being a declining nation, he was referring to the tremendous damage we suffered during the 4 years of sleepy Joe Biden and the Biden administration, and on that score, he was 100% correct. President Xi was not referring to the incredible rise that the United States has displayed during the 16 spectacular months of the Trump administration, which includes all-time high stock markets, military victory, a thriving relationship in Venezuela, and the military decimation of Iran, to be continued, Trump wrote in his post. The Thucydides trap is a political theory suggesting that when an emerging power threatens to displace an established great power, the resulting structural stress makes their war increasingly likely. As an intellectual heir to both Confucius and Sun Tzu, Xi articulated what even seasoned diplomats often hesitate to say openly: the American empire is gradually losing its predominance. Several prominent American strategists and economists, including David Wolf, John Mearsheimer, and Jeffrey Sachs, have similarly argued that the United States is struggling to contain or reverse a geopolitical shift that may already be irreversible. In their view, ventures such as the Iran war reflect increasingly desperate efforts to preserve fading global dominance. What drives such conclusions is the sheer scale of China's economic and industrial power. No other nation manufactures across such a vast spectrum of industries at comparable scale. From iPhones and laptops to steel, electric vehicles, solar panels, batteries, textiles, machinery, toys, and household goods, China dominates multiple global production networks simultaneously. It produces more steel than the rest of the world combined in some years, controls much of the world's solar panel and battery manufacturing capacity, and remains the primary assembly hub for countless multinational corporations. Several of the world's busiest container ports are also located in China, reflecting the enormous export flows that power global commerce. What truly sets China apart, however, is the depth of its industrial ecosystem. Massive infrastructure, integrated supply chains, supplier clusters, logistics networks, and manufacturing expertise concentrated at an unmatched scale. In many industrial zones, products can be designed, prototyped, assembled, packaged, and shipped within the same region. This combination of scale, speed, and industrial capacity has made China central to the global economy in a way no other nation has yet replicated.
India may possess comparable demographic scale, but it remains far from China's current level of industrial integration. That is why Xi's invocation of the Thucydides trap could hardly have been more fitting. Successive U.S. administrations, including Trump's, spent years portraying an ascendant China as a strategic adversary. Sanctions, trade restrictions, and pejorative narratives surrounding the Chinese brand accompanied this campaign. Yet suddenly, the same so-called evil empire was being recast as an indispensable partner for global stability. "It's an honor to be your friend. We've had a fantastic relationship. When difficulties emerged, we worked them out," Trump declared, while praising Xi at the Great Hall of the People. Trump appeared unusually restrained throughout the visit and arrived accompanied by 12 multinational CEOs, including Elon Musk, Kelly Ortberg, Tim Cook, and David Solomon, all eager to explore business opportunities in the very country Washington had long depicted as a strategic threat. The visit marked the beginning of a potential geopolitical realignment, driven less by ideological confrontation and more by economic necessity and the search for global stability. Xi rejected the endless cycle of multilateral confrontation and military interventions against sovereign states. Trump ultimately departed Beijing with modest but tangible economic gains rather than major strategic breakthroughs. China committed to purchasing 200 Boeing aircraft, the first major U.S. jet order in nearly a decade, while also increasing imports of American soybeans, beef, oil, and LNG. The creation of a new bilateral Board of Trade mechanism to manage disputes offered limited hope for stability, but neither side showed willingness to compromise on core strategic issues. Both remained firmly entrenched in their long-standing positions.
Thank you for watching. If you like the video, do like, share, and subscribe.